Happy Thursday and welcome to On the Move with Nan and Kam. And today we're joined by Jeff Ocampo. Welcome, Jeff.
Hey guys, thank you so much. How are you?
We're great. How are you doing?
Doing well. Thank you for having me on. Appreciate it.
Yeah, that's awesome. We Jeff is a local runner that we've kind of gotten to know in the photography and videography space. He's helped us with some projects, and we've taken some different pictures of our events. And we found out he was a runner, and I always think it makes a difference when the people you're working with
100%.
are involved in the sport as well. It makes
does.
it easier to communicate things. And then we just realized that Jeff had an awesome story that we would wanted to share and ask more about. So just let people know, when did you start to run and get physically active, and what does that like journey kind of look like for you?
Sure. So I started running probably in 2017, 2018. Um, I played soccer and I was an athlete basically my whole life. I played soccer up until, probably 2017 when I got injured. My fiance, now my wife, was like, no more soccer. And I said, okay, I get it. But I've always moved my whole life. And so, kind of running was a result of not being able to play soccer anymore. Yeah, so I started running in 2017, just running around the fan, running around, different neighborhoods in Richmond. Then since then, still running today. I've completed one marathon, seven half marathons, a handful of 10Ks, one sprint try. Really kind of challenging my body in different aspects of movement. Um, and I still like it. And now I have a 4-year-old daughter, and she's keeping me moving in
Yeah, you
different
don't get to sit.
aspects. Yeah, I know I'm sitting right now, but once this is over, it's back to moving. But I really love running. I really love moving. I really love being a Richmonder, running in different parts of the city, because our city has a lot to offer runners. And I hope to continue running, kind of for the rest of my life.
Yeah. So you run with one of our many run clubs in Richmond. We off the couch. How has that been, and when did you first start running with them?
Yeah, I love We Off the Couch. I'll start with that. I found We Off the Couch during the pandemic. My daughter was born in 2020, and for those first 2 years, my dedication was, raising her with my wife. Running, movement, exercise, especially like kind of during the pandemic, was not kind of an option for me.
Yeah.
Right.
And as soon as she got to basically like 2.5 years old, it was like, all right, I gotta work out. I mean, I wasn't working out. I wasn't being healthy. My mental state was, it was being tested in a way. And so, uh, kind of at the tail end of the pandemic, when things kind of, started to lighten up a little bit more, I found We Off the Couch and I started running with them, not with my daughter, but just running them with them solo. I ran with them a few times, got to know the founder Rock and a lot of the other kind of leads in the group, and then I kind of just started showing up more often. Um, Quite honestly, I didn't always run with We Off the Couch. I started running with other groups as well and exercising with different groups just to kind of just see what's out there. We
Yeah.
Off the Couch is one of, like you said, Cam, one of many run groups in Richmond. I was so astounded at kind of how many run groups there are. And,
Yeah.
you
Yeah.
know, I mean, I'll be 40 next year, so I'm on the older side of like the running groups, but like Richmond has a gamut of just, if you're in a specific stage of your life, there is a workout group or there is a community for your stage of life. And so for me, We Off the Couch kind of hit that parenting, older adult, even younger adults, because we cater to everybody. And the impact that they make for me was like less on um, kind of, I have to run, I have to go fast, I have to be a fast runner. it was all about community for me.
Yeah.
Because going back to kind of like my mental state, it was just me and my wife, and I love my wife, but your wife and not having to see family during the pandemic can take a toll. And so I just needed to see people. And we off the couch was is and was my people.
Yeah, and I like how you said that. I mean, there's run clubs for all stages of your life and
Yeah.
for all fitness levels. And I feel like We Off the Couch specifically, that's one of the only ones that I've been to. But when you're looking for something that is like you're feeling down and out, or like you're feeling like, dang, I don't have a lot going for me right now. I'm just gonna go run with this group. Like they feed into you, and they are. That's a great group to get started with, especially if you're feeling like you need to be loved on or you need
Yeah.
community, because they're gonna give it to you every time.
Yeah, and just to echo to that, I mean, we are an all paces, faces, races run group. And so like to your point is if you're having and if it's a beautiful day outside, but you're not having a beautiful day, but you just need to kind of like see people and be around people, then like come check us out.
Yeah.
We're not asking you to run super fast. I mean, we do stop at like, every mile or so because we're a run group that doesn't leave anyone behind. So, again, we definitely push that community aspect to our runners. But again, we're not asking you to be like an elite athlete at all.
Great.
But if you just want to be around people and use running and movement to be a part of a community, then come check us out.
Yeah. I think also when you were saying, like no offense to my wife and like I think it's also like a huge part of the mental health aspect of it is like getting out of the house. Like
Yeah.
I remember during the pandemic, we all adjusted. We all had to figure out how to do this like within your neighborhood at home. And I think now, my husband just works full time from home. And so there's just days too. Like if I come back and I've been at the office, he's like, what are we going to go do? Just cause you're like, I gotta like get out of the house, like to, feel like you're seeing more community and being outdoors. So I think that's like a huge piece of it too, is sometimes, and I find that too, if I like have worked from home for a few days or something, sometimes I'll be like, oh, it feels easier to just like do whatever workout I want to do here. And then I'm like,
No.
it is going to make me feel so much better
Yeah.
to like go out for a little bit.
Right.
Yeah.
Like go walk.
Yeah.
Or something.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a different feeling, especially I think for as a society now we are we are leaning more towards like, kind of the depending on your industry that you work in, like this
Yeah.
high kind of like hybrid lifestyle. So like to your point of, your husband working, remotely, he's always going to be indoors, right? Or
Yeah.
like anyone half of your day is going to be indoors. Like even if it's not a run, but like if you live in a pretty nice neighborhood that has sidewalks or just like it's a pretty day outside, I mean, I've added into my routine just to like every hour or so take a 10-minute walk, you know?
Yeah.
I need to.
Um, like
Yeah.
that's just, and to me for like being, not just a husband, but like as a parent now, we're always on.
Yeah.
And we're always like being on also has to mean like your day is like so serious that to take 10 minutes for yourself just to walk without music, without your phone, without anybody, but just like listening to nature, like listening around you, whatever that looks like for anybody, even just for yourself, whatever that looks like. I mean, it could one be so beneficial to just like your own self, but I mean, it could be like the turning point of your day. Like that could
Yeah.
just be the boost that you need for the rest of the day, especially again as like as a parent.
Yeah. You do need to do it more. It's a creative. You're getting all this creative energy. We need you replenished.
Yeah. I
Yeah,
heard, I read that, or I listened to a podcast about like if you are a creative person, just a walk outside without headphones and just like hearing sounds and
Yeah.
stuff and like water running can help you. And I was like, okay. I always say like I'm gonna do that more and I forget. But I've tried to build in like midday walks though.
Yeah.
So where I'm like
Without headphones is not the hard part. I'm
yeah,
sure.
the headphones is the hard
We like
part.
our headphones over here. So
Yeah, whether it's
no.
music or a podcast or a book, I'm like,
Yeah, luckily I'm terrible at charging mine, so half the time that's not a choice.
You're like, not an option.
Yeah. So I know that a huge reason that we kind of thought about having you on as a guest is, we know that you had some struggles with your job recently, and that you were training for Around the Crown with We Off the. Were you training with We Off the Couch for Around the Crown?
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Okay, Around the Crown is in Charlotte, and Cameron was looking at doing it. Honestly,
yeah, I was going to, but I ended up like falling off of my running. Like I did 10K training team, and then after that, I had planned to like keep running until August, and then I was like, I'm just not feeling it right now. Okay. So it might come back
next year.
Normally during the summer, I lose it, and I'm like, it is too high. I don't want. I'm very like it depends on a lot of things, environmental factors.
I'm the same. This is my season.
Got a fall 10K out there, anybody? I'm there.
But summer. When was Around the Crown?
Gosh, that's a good question. It was end of August,
wasn't it?
Oh yes. I'm sorry. Yeah, Labor Day weekend. Yeah, you're right.
Labor Day weekend. It was a Sunday.
Yeah.
So you were training for that with We Off the Couch, and then you thought you might not go, but your wife encouraged you to. Tell us a little bit about that, what that experience and the training and leading up to it, and how the race was.
Yeah. So leading up to Around the Crown, about a month ago, I lost my job. It was very unexpected. All business. I don't need to get into it. But I essentially lost my job. And so that afternoon, funny story is I also had to lead a run for We Off the Couch. So I was like not having the best day. But I was not having the best day, but I also didn't want to like leave the rest of my team, in the dust, basically saying like I can't do this anymore because like just not having a great day. So I ended up leading the group. It was fine. It was great. But my mood for basically, that week was like just shot. I didn't want to do anything. And I wasn't so much kind of bummed out that I just lost my job. I felt like I failed my family. That was the biggest thing for me.
Yeah.
My daughter still asks me to this day, how come you're not going into the office? I make some excuse because she's a little too young to fully understand.
Yeah, right.
But, I just was more focused on my family and how I felt like I just, I failed them. Of course, that's not the case. My wife was
that's an impossible feeling to escape for anybody. And that
yeah.
Very relatable. That would be something that everyone logically knows is not the truth, but that's not what your brain says.
Right.
Yeah.
For sure. And you're right. My brain was saying like all the other things, but my emotions were just like pounding me on just like, you lost everything. You're a failure. But it was not the case. And I think like leading up to it, it was also the weekend, or like the week after is going to be Around the Crown. So I didn't really run. I didn't run the rest of that week leading to Around the Crown. And the first thing I told my wife was like, I don't want to do this race. Like my head, I was just like, I just want to sit on the couch, or like just be with you guys. But also like, I need to figure this out. And running was not, a focus for me. But, my wife was like, everyone, this is a painful moment for you. This can be a painful moment for anyone. And you don't need to find the answer so quickly. You don't need to go chase that answer so quickly. So this is very fresh. You've already paid for like your hotel. You've already paid for the entry. You've already done this. Just go. I'll take care of our daughter. Which thank you, my wife for offering that and doing that. And so it was just a one night away. So I drove up there. The Saturday of Labor Day. It was a 4-hour drive from Richmond. So 4 hours can have a lot of time to think to yourself.
Good and bad.
And back. So I took my wife on the offer. I mean, I went. And I got there early enough to sort of just have a day to myself. And that was the important thing, is just to have that day to one, sort of prepare for myself for the run. I wasn't trying to PR or anything, but I just needed to go. I needed to do a solo activity just to refresh myself, and get myself grounded, because, the following week I could just hit the ground running, which I did, but that weekend was, I got into Charlotte. I did my own shakeout. Like there was a shakeout group with Mad Miles, who are a really big club in Charlotte. I missed that because I was driving, but I was able to have the afternoon to myself. I saw the city. It was just a gorgeous day, like I said, and just being outside, being kind of around the center of where it's all at. And then also just being around, my We Off the Couch family. I mean, I think there was about 20 of us all together. So we were taking part in different socials that were happening in Charlotte that Mad Miles and other crews were hosting. So I was around community. I was around the people that I'm used to seeing, that I'm vibing with, and that got my mind off, the other stuff.
Yeah.
And then once race day came, I mean, I wasn't trying to PR, but I knew that I just wanted all of my emotions to just um, be gone during the race. I just wanted to run and
Yeah.
like focus on what I needed to do. And that's what I did. I think I forgot what time I finished, to be honest. I think it was like 40 minutes or so, or
Yeah.
maybe
Yeah.
something around there. So it was a 10K, around the Crown 10K. It was a great race, awesome environment, and it really boosted my mentality, you know, getting out of that hump, of like not near depression or anything, but just being in a lull.
Yeah.
And I'm glad for it, because then it just kind of like, the outcome is putting myself in a position not to dwell on the situation,
Yeah.
putting myself in a better state, a mental state of just like, okay, now you just got to focus, again, not dwelling on the situation, but going forward, and keeping my head up. And fortunately, I've gotten a lot of leads. I have a great support system, um, and so I'm better. I'm better now.
Yeah. I feel like that it's hard, like when you said the 4 hour drive down, but even like the time that you take to run. And I can understand why you would be like, I don't even want to run, because then that's more time for me and my thoughts. And like
Yeah.
you can't
That's
pick up,
exactly it.
you can't click up, you can't be on a computer, you can't write anything down. Like it's literally just you and what you're thinking about. And so I can
Yeah.
understand how that's like,
I mean, on that drive down, I was practicing interview questions. Like,
Yeah.
what was I
yeah,
doing? I mean,
you can't do
that
anything else.
you can't do anything else. I've listened to my podcast, I've done this, and like it practicing interview questions was probably the last thing that I needed to do. Um, but it was the only thing that I could think of at the
Yeah.
Yeah.
time, because it was so fresh, right?
Yeah.
But to your point of just like, um getting yourself into, it's also perspective, getting yourself out of a, do you want to sit and kind of like feel sorry for yourself, or do you want to kind of move in the direction of being better for yourself, especially if you want to, um you know get a little bit closer to who you are despite this, traumatic experience.
Yeah.
Because to your point is like, I could still be depressed till this day. And, I still sort of am. I am kind of emotional, that I have good days, I have bad days, but at the same time, um, I don't want to be that person.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I have to move. My mental state is sort of at risk every day. And how do I, become better? And how do I become more of like a happier person each day? Because I'm not just trying to be a happy person for me. I'm trying to be a happy person for my daughter, my family, my wife, my community. Um, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I also think that goes to say, like, I've been having conversations recently about self discipline and how, as an adult, when nobody's making you do things, it's so much harder to actually do the things that you know you need to do because nobody's making you do them. And if there's no, like, oh, I'm gonna miss this, or like if there is no something that you're gonna
Yeah.
miss out on, then it's harder to do the things. And so for you to be able to get up and go do the things, even when it's hard, even when you don't want to, even when you're like, well, I'm just gonna be sad anyways. It's good for you, like good for you for keep moving and doing things
Yeah.
that are healthy for you.
I appreciate that. It is hard. I mean, there's been times like this morning, I was probably just, I took my daughter to school and then I was like, I don't know what I'm going to do for the next hour.
Right.
Yeah.
I eventually got out and like walked and I went to do my exercises there. But to your point of just like, I could have literally just done that for 8 hours until I picked up my
Yeah.
daughter this
You're
afternoon.
laid on the couch and did
Yeah,
nothing.
and as amazing as that sounds, yes, that's
Yeah.
probably amazing. I've read everyone was like, "What? You laying on the couch? That's amazing." Of
Yeah.
course. But in a situation that I am, I cannot do that every day, all day.
Yeah.
Um, so
And I
to
also think like all for like I don't want people to think we're not saying, to take a rest when you need a rest and
Right.
to there is times where like it's totally beneficial to have that like lay on the couch. But I know for me, like with exercise, I have anxiety and like when you were saying like the 4 hour drive down to Charlotte, like I think sometimes when people don't understand like it's easy sometimes for people to be like, well just don't think about that or just don't like, just don't worry about that. Like it's gonna be fine. But like that's like literally something my brain can't compute.
Yeah.
So like
yeah,
I can't control. Like I know some tips and tricks. Like I can
Right.
control some of it, but
Right.
like I can't control whether or not I like think about that. And I find that for me and my mental health, like exercise is something that I'm like I can control this. Like I don't have a lot of control on a lot of other things in my life that might be impacting how I feel, but like I can control this and I know that this makes me feel good even when I like don't want to do it.
Right.
And then also I always feel like at some point during the exercise, no matter what mode you're doing, like whether I'm going to a class or on a run, like you start and my brain is still doing the let's think through like everything. But at some point you get a little too tired to do that. And then I think sometimes it changes and rewires me to think instead of thinking to myself like why am I like this, why can I not stop thinking about this thing, why is this the way it is, it enables me to also be like wow I'm grateful that I like have a body that can do this, I'm grateful that I like can get out here and take time for myself, and it just like quiets things a little bit, which when don't know how you feel is
Right.
huge.
Yeah.
But yeah, that to say there are days that you can lay on the couch, that's also acceptable.
Right. You take
yeah.
a good rest.
I just want to add on, like, and I think living in Richmond it is special. Like you go back to having a community of just not just like different running communities, but we also have just fantastic like workout centers around the city. But also
Yeah.
we have just an amazing environment in Richmond. You can go to Browns Island and just hit like some trails or just have a really nice walk around the James River. Again, neighborhoods that cross through like Carytown or like Northside, and all that. Like we have the environment just to kind of just see what's out there, and that certainly does help kind of take your mind off things, and it certainly doesn't kind of ask a lot from you. It's just more of
Yeah.
just going to the destination, being safe, wherever you're going, and just kind of like letting your body move and letting your mind kind of be free for that certain period of time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How has running and like staying active changed and made you feel now compared to when you first started doing it in the pandemic?
When I started running, I always thought I needed to go fast and I needed to be faster than everybody else. And so I had a different mindset than I have today. Um, for me, my mental state is more on less being fast, more on being around community and being around like-minded people, without having to sort of cloud my mindset of just like um fast fast fast. It's
Yeah.
best that I can kind of
Yeah.
describe it. So for me, and that goes back to being part of We Off the Couch. I'm taking a step back on a lot of races. Again, I didn't want to do around the ground, but I took a step back on races for this entire year because I'm part of I'm a committee chair for We Off the Couch. So a lot of
Nice.
my responsibility and my focus is just making sure that old and new runners are getting what they need from our community.
Yeah.
So a lot of my attention is just going to either again like new runners or complete strangers, and helping them along their journey into running. So I don't necessarily consider myself a coach or a run lead, but I am kind of, I'm not also going to say a prominent figure, but I am a figure within our group, just to be like, if you need something, go to Jeff. He'll help you out. Because I want to see success in our group, whether again it is older folks that have been running with We Off the Couch for many years, or newer people. We've seen a significant growth this year, and a lot of new faces, and a lot of things behind the scenes that we're trying to implement and do better at, because we want to attract a lot more around the community and do more around the community. So it's been a lot of just like community building, and advocacy within the group, to make sure that like old and new are getting what they need from the group, and just and what they need from themselves. And again, that doesn't necessarily have to mean running all the time, but if they just need a safe space, if they just need a community, if they need a buddy, they need a best friend, or just a friend, we're here for that person.
That's awesome. Yeah. We always talk about too. I find that like as I get older, a big activity I do, I feel like with girlfriends and stuff, particularly if you have a lot to talk about, is like go on a walk, because
Yeah.
there's something about doing the activity. And even though this seems counterintuitive to human connection, not looking at each other,
Right.
that like helps people be a little bit more vulnerable sometimes, or like talk about stuff that they normally wouldn't want to bring up, but everyone feels like they're focused on doing something else, and like there's not that intimidation factor of like staring right at somebody to say something that you normally wouldn't say.
Yeah, I went the weekend before I got engaged. I went on a walk with my best friend, and I was like, I think I'm going crazy. Like, I think this, and she knew. She's a terrible liar. She knew the whole time, but she wasn't looking me in the eyes, so she was fine.
She was able to lie.
She's like, well, I don't know what it is. And I was like, no, I think I do know. She's like, you're wrong. So yeah, you can lie. That's not lying to you, but it is a lot easier to like have that open conversation when you're not directly looking at somebody. Yeah.
Yeah. Congratulations.
Thanks.
You're welcome.
That's cool that they have that in play with chairs and everything and We Off the Couch, because I think that's also something like, as you form these relationships with all these people to be like an authentic community with each other, it has to be about more than running also. Yeah.
Yeah, it's like I said in the beginning, I've done countless races when I started running, and I still will continue. Like my goal as I enter my 40s is try to get into some Abbott World Majors, and kind of shift my focus into like full marathons. We'll see if I get into it. The races are very hard to get into. But kind of doing more full marathons, but balancing that with being a parent, being a husband, and also being part of the We Off the Couch community. I can only put so much on my plate, and divide attention equally to all of those spaces. But like I feel like I've already achieved a lot, and I, if there's anything that I can offer to new runners, whether they join or just check out We Off the Couch, or join sports backers, for your guys' training, I'm happy to speak to anybody and give them my perspective. I'm also happy to advocate for anybody who wants to just move their body, and just either be physically better or mentally better, or even emotionally better. There's stigmas out there that just like guys, girls, athletes, moms, dads, whoever, whatever kind of, space you're in, and life stage you're in, we have to be on all the time. And you kind of like only show emotion, by yourself, or, you can't show emotion, because you have to be on, you have to be this certain type. And to me, that's just crazy. That's just crazy to think. That's crazy to even put yourself into. But people, you can't help to hide that vulnerability. And to kind of, full circle is like, you don't have to do hard things by yourself. You don't have to be alone, and have to deal with whatever demons or emotional experiences that you're going through. You don't have to do those by yourself. And again, whether that's joining a run group or just being out with like friends and family. Like that time is for you to, that it'll help decompress and just help you again relieve some of that tension that giving yourself. That like that's you. That's all on you. You don't have to do that, to yourself. And like movement and running, and being part of community can certainly help like kind of like relieve that, state that you're in. And that's what I've learned.
Yeah, and I think you'd be surprised at how many people share similar struggles. I think if you're not sharing that and being vulnerable and talking about that, then you're limiting the community that you could have,
Yeah,
in the ways that you could help each other.
for sure. Totally agree with that.
Yeah. Well, Jeff, thanks so much. It's a great conversation. We're gonna do your this or that's now. Have you thought of any?
Okay.
I thought about one.
All
All
right.
right.
I'm totally nervous, but I guess you guys can do it.
Don't be nervous. You might.
Okay.
A lot of people end up doing this and that, but
Yeah, that's fine. We let
Yeah.
rules
Okay.
slide
yeah,
sometimes.
only if you have a good reason for the this
Yeah.
and that.
Oh,
Okay.
okay. All right, bet.
So my first one that I have is, again, we've talked about you being a run photographer. Do you like to capture the race with pictures and videos, or would you prefer running in the race?
Oh, that's a good question. Um, Photos and videos, capture photos and videos.
Okay. Do you have a
Yeah.
reason why?
Um, well, this is kind of like I'm only sort of like in year two of kind of doing less writing, more um video and photo work. So I've already kind of done the runs, done the races. So I'm accustomed to it. But now I'm sort of like running the course, but have a camera in my hand. That's
Yes.
hard.
We talk about that a lot with the people who like photograph our events. I'm like, they need a medal. Like,
Yeah,
they're
they've
doing
done the
it
mile.
Yeah, it's funny because sometimes our the teammates they'll give me their medals just to like
Yeah.
give get a picture of me running. But I'll do video and photo of runs just to be able to capture those moments for anybody finishing the race is so gratifying.
This one is totally unrelated to running.
Okay.
So you have a 4-year-old daughter, and we've got Halloween coming up. I know that people, like when kids are really young, parents can sometimes, take advantage of like, we can put you in a funny costume that's a funny reference that like adults are getting. So are you like team funny, like reference costume, or are we just letting kid be kid all in on Halloween?
Oh, that's an amazing question. This year, we are doing, oh, well, to answer your question, I'm on the boat of, um, let the family dress together
Okay,
as
that's cute.
Holly,
I like
but
that.
but it's also kind of just dependent on what's happening. So
Yeah.
like this year, my daughter really loves this TV show called Super Kitties on
Oh,
Disney
somebody
Channel.
downstairs has a Super Kitties fan. I've heard
Okay,
about Super Kitties.
cool.
Yeah.
So she wants to dress up as one superhero kitty, and then she told me that I have to be the fat kitty. Sorry, very mean, very mean. Sorry. Yeah,
Exactly.
there's a little, yeah, there's this character that's just a little chubby, so she thinks that I'm that kitty, which is fine, but it's also the only boy kitty in the group, so I guess that's fine too.
Okay.
So basically, we're just gonna be superhero kitties. We're gonna try to. We're gonna try to. There is certainly, little children costumes for her, but my wife and I had to make up our own, which
Yeah.
Yeah, you got to get creative.
I don't know if we're gonna pull it off, but we'll see. Guess we'll see.
I believe in you. You can do it.
Yeah, thank you.
Cameron just said she might not have the strength to be a parent if they
parent.
tell you have to be fat kitty.
Yeah. If my child was like,
It's, I mean, that's very mean. Those were her words, but also she is 4, so I gave her a little bit. I gave her a little bit of grace.
you're like, you're not wrong. Okay.
Yeah, I gave her a little grace, but we had to kind of scold her a little bit, like,
Right.
no, don't describe it that way. Don't describe it that way. But yeah, if we can be a whole family of like, have costumes together, then we will. But we'll see if this year we do that.
This might be so. Okay. I'm gonna preface by saying fall is my favorite season. I love fall so much. Okay. And you know what else I love about fall is that everybody's doing campfires. That's
Okay.
because campfire is my favorite scent. I can be like, we were walking through a neighborhood.
I do like the
and
smell of
smelled it,
campfire
and
as well.
it just reminds me of my childhood, so I'm like,
Yeah.
it's my favorite. Do you prefer? We're going sweets here. Campfire s'more in the fall, or do you prefer an ice cream cone in the summer?
Ooh, this is
Whoo,
really hard.
whoo. Man, okay.
That's a hard
Uh,
question
It's tough.
that is,
because I
I'm,
like
I'm,
both.
Me
I'm
too.
thinking way too long on this one.
No, it's a hard question.
It is a very hard question. Man, I'm gonna go with the summer one.
Okay.
Because I mean, I don't mind an ice cream like every single day after dinner.
Yeah, same.
Uh, just because, it's appropriate, it's fine, it's the summer. But I mean, it. So this is all my wife's doing right here.
I noticed it. It looks great.
Yeah, all the fall decor. That's just one little bit. I mean, we're a big fall family, and not just for like the s'mores like aspect, but like fall events in Richmond are just freaking
There's a
amazing.
lot.
There's a lot of them, for again like family friendly and not family friendly, but there's just a lot of them every weekend, and so it's fun. It's also just kind of beautiful here around Virginia. I'll go back to just ice cream cone.
One more summer ice cream.
Yeah,
Yesterday was the
So,
first day of
but
fall.
I also like ice cream is a round the year treat.
It is, but
it
like,
is.
it's a difference when
Yeah.
you're eating it in summer.
Do you have a favorite ice cream establishment here in Richmond?
Oh, you guys are really hitting the hard ones here. I feel
know,
like
sorry.
I can't.
We go on a summer ice cream tour here at Schwarzschild.
Yes, we do. We do like
Really?
we try to go like a couple different places that we haven't been.
Yeah, so we
That's
visited
fun.
a lot together as a group.
Okay. Man. Um, Establishment. That's a hard one. Um, I've always liked just because it's close to where we live. But it's not Charm School, but it's their Forest Hill location. Uh, yeah, so it's Charm School's equivalent, next to the Vale, off Forest Hill. But they just have they make the best ice cream. They also had like this like orangesicle, like
Ooh.
orange and vanilla flavor like 3 weeks ago that just hit.
Yeah.
Like it wasn't even just a hot day, but it was just, I took my daughter out for like like we just did the playground and she was like, I want ice cream. And I said, cool. Then I was just thinking vanilla, but then
Yeah.
they had a dreamsicle flavor and I said, boom, that's it. And so, but they just have great ice cream kind of like all the
Yeah.
time.
That's a cool little area too. I love a s'more. I love ice cream, but a s'more is one of my favorite types of flavors. I also love s'mores ice cream. But I think a s'more because like the rarity of it.
I think yes.
Yeah.
Anytime I get the chance to make a s'more,
I'm
I'm like
eating like 3.
I'm s'moring it up.
Yeah.
We have a the in-home s'more maker toaster.
You would.
Ooh,
Why? Because I love s'mores. What can
that's
I
a good
say?
move. That's a good move. I'm
But
not
yes.
hating. I'm not hating on that one. That's a good
If I
move.
were to get to do it on a campfire, 100%. I don't remember the last time I've done a campfire s'more. I need to get off my electric s'more maker.
You do.
I need to find a fire.
Yeah. My grandparents used to let me make them on their space heater, which is like not advisable.
Mine too. Mine too. Same experience. Yeah,
Yes.
I don't advise doing that. But
No. Like I said, my dad was a firefighter, so it's kind of insane that she just like was like, yeah, here you go. Here's a coat hanger. She just hold it over top of
That's
that.
awesome.
But what fun memories. I'm glad it's not just me.
Right.
Well, Jeff, thank you so much. This was great. And are you running one of the distant nude because you might be taking photos? Not
No,
officially.
No, I'm skipping the Richmond
Okay.
for this year because I'm capturing content. But I'll be on the course. So if anyone sees me, wave at me. I'm happy to take a picture or video. Just really out there to support all the runners. It's an amazing race. Whether it's the 8K, the half or the full, I love it. And so hopefully, I'll get back into it next year.
Nice. Well, everybody be on the lookout for Jeff out there and smile big, and we'll be looking for you too. Thanks a lot. It
Awesome.
was great to talk to you.
Thank you
Bye.
so much, guys. Take care. I'll see you.
Thanks. Bye.